You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
So I guess I can tell you on a scale of 1 to proud, you can put us all in the proud category.
I appreciate that.
Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Turf District for a Spepisode of the Eskimo Empire Podcast, brought to you by United Construction Company, of course. I'm Andrew, and today I am lucky enough to be joined by two-time Grey Cup champion and brand new Eskimo starting quarterback, Trevor Harris. So welcome to the Turf District and, of course, to the Empire.
Oh, man, glad to be here. Excited to be a part of the Empire.
That's awesome. So now I got to say right up front, you may also have one of probably my all-time favorite live mic moments. So I guess I can tell you on a scale of 1 to proud, you can put us all in the proud category.
I appreciate that. I started saying that when I was younger, and I don't know, it's just stuck. So on a scale of 1 to excited, I'll ask my wife all the time, excited. We scale of 1 to pumped up, so just one of those things that came out and didn't realize you're wearing the mic, so people were probably like, wow, what an idiot.
No, I loved it. I that made me laugh. I was like, this is outstanding, and I've used it quite a few times in my house. I'll, get something done and turn to my wife and say, oh, okay, on a scale of 1 to proud, and she laughs, and so it's great. It's, yeah, it's definitely a winner for us, so well done on that.
Oh, great. I'm glad it's helped.
Awesome. Now, most of us, of course, know a bit of the story so far, but tell us about Free Agency Day and, of course, how a deal got done so quickly that kind of takes you from red and black to green and gold.
As soon as it became apparent to me that it wasn't going to work out in Ottawa, and I felt like, God was steering me in a different direction, it was, okay, what are going to the options be? And as soon as you see that, Mike was going somewhere else, it opened up an additional door in Edmonton, and knowing who Brock Sunderland is, knowing who Jason Moss is, was insanely enticing. And so when it opened up, I'd heard from Brock pretty quickly. And my agent had told me there was a few other teams that had inquired. And I said, I don't really need to think about this. I know where I want to be. And I just said, let's not make it difficult numbers-wise. Let's just go. And so we got it done as quickly as possible because I wanted to be in Edmonton as quick as possible. And I wanted to let them know that not only am I wanting to be there, I wanted to be there quickly so I could get on board and start recruiting and start helping other guys get there so we could, start this thing and get this thing going on the right foot.
That is awesome. Now, and I guess so thanks are in order from us because you helped, of course, bring Greg Ellingson and Sir Vincent Rogers here as well. So is it kind of nice to have that continuity? Not that obviously there's a lot of other new guys around you, but I'm sure that that's a big selling point for you.
Yeah, continuity is always a great thing. But more important than continuity is just having great guys. And not only are Greg and Sir V great players, they're great guys. And so continuity will come with them. And so, with me and them coming over, we're about team. And I remember Greg had a game one time in 2016. He had one catch for -3 yards, and I'm not making that up. And it was against Montreal, and I remember thinking, I look down at the receiver stats. I look down at receiver stats, sacks, second down conversions are my first 3 things I look at, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting our our top targets ball. I want them to make sure that they're getting their targets and they're getting opportunities. And I'm like, man, Greg is probably upset, because we'd won. And I look back and he's having a great time with the guys and comes up and he starts bullcrapping with me and talking about how, it was great to get a win. And I was just like, man, this is a team guy. And having a guy like that is infectious in your receiving core. And having a guy like Sir Vincent, who's a dog on game day, who's a great guy, that wants to lead and work like he does is huge. And I know that Brock and Jay are huge on bringing in guys of that sort of character. And so I think with that is going to provide immediate continuity in our locker room.
Oh, that is outstanding. I'm looking forward to having Greg Ellenson do Snow Angels here instead of in Ottawa. Now I'd be excited to see them, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that they'll bring some creative celebrations over, and I still talk to Deontay Spencer a couple times every week, so I'll make sure that he stays on top of it, getting us some good touchdown celebrations too.
That's fantastic. Now, before we go more into the team for this year, let's go back a little bit to kind of where it all started for you. So who introduced you to football, and when did you actually start playing?
So I started playing football at 9 years old, and it was midget football, tackle football, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it up through my freshman year of high school, to the point where I came home one day and told my mom I was done. And I just wanted to golf, play basketball, and baseball. And I thought I was going to go to Duke and Kentucky on a full ride in basketball, and obviously didn't realize the athleticism and stuff that wouldn't be there to be a college basketball player. My mom said she'd give me $50 to play football my freshman year in high school, and I thought, wow, I can buy Chinese food 3 or 4 times with that. So I was like, you got a deal. Played that year, and I ended up falling in love with the game that year. And I just think it was kind of a divine intervention for me that that was what I was supposed to do. And my mom, obviously was a big part of that. She's been a big part of my whole life. Fell in love with the game, and here I am this many years later. And I knew my dad would be devastated if I would have stopped playing football that year. And so my mom just bribed me, and it worked out for all ends.
Worked out pretty well for all of us in the long run. That's funny. I have a 11-year-old myself who's just been playing, getting into tackle football the last couple of years, and you see where that passion can kind of develop, but you gotta, it's a lot of work too, right? So at that age, it's kind of hard to kind of wrap your head around, okay, well, this is do I really want to do this? Or am I having fun doing this? Or where is it going to get to, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think at a young age, you're not quite, mature and developed enough to understand, what the game is going to teach you. And the game has taught me so much in terms of just being a part of something bigger than myself. It's taught me about physical courage, mental courage, emotional courage. And I've just grown a lot, and it's taught me so much. And you don't realize kind of the perspective that you'll have, as you get older at that younger an age. And maybe my mom knew at that time.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, you went there, or you go out through high school, you end up at Edinburgh College. And, you broke pretty much every passing record they had there. You're a finalist for basically their version of the MOP for 2 years in a row. What was that college experience like for you now that you've kind of fell in love with the game?
Fantastic. I had some great mentors there, and I had some great teammates that, enabled me to have a lot of success. And it fit me really well to go to Edinburgh, because I'm from a little town called Waldo, Ohio, population 338. And I'm not, wow. That's truthful. That was the last census, 338 people. And so I went to a really small town in college, and it just fit me really well. And I'm a small town kid, small school guy. I'm a gritty, worker type of guy, and I like to lead, and I'm not a very public guy. I don't like to kind of be in the public eye, just I'm more of a private person. And so that fit me really well. And so it was a really good thing for my personality and allowing me to be authentically myself and find myself a lot in college.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I know you had a few other stops in between there, but you end up joining the Argos in 2012. So was there a little bit of a culture shock coming up there, or what did you think of, I guess, the game itself once you got there?
I was just through the washing machine of pro football at that time. I think I'd played 6 teams in a matter of 2 years. And so it was tough on me. And so when I came up to Toronto, I was like, I would just like to stick. If I could just play out my contract for 3 years, learn a lot about the game, and become a better coach through this, that's what I really want to get out of this. And I want to be able to prove to myself that I could do it, that I could be on a professional roster. And, as I did that, goals have changed. And, as I'm sure your journey has taught you, that as you progress and as you reach certain checkpoints, your goals change, and you heighten your goals. And it's almost like a good way for you to continue, climbing the mountain. And it's just been a great thing for me. And here I am going into year 8, which I never thought I'd be blessed enough to do. And I've just been really fortunate, and, to stay healthy, to to, have great coaches and great teammates and be able to grow as a man, as a leader, and just be able to just play football.
Oh, that's outstanding, and yeah, I totally get it. Even on a podcast level, I'm now talking to a starting quarterback, which I never thought that would happen, but here we go. These things happen.
Yeah. Oh, anytime, man.
It's good to have goals. So, now when you get up here, you just said we kind of learn towards doing coaching and things like that, and I mean, you've had some great people to learn from. You're working with Ricky Ray and Henry Burris, and of course Jason Moss. What did you learn from some of those guys? And then I guess as a side question, how exciting is it to be back with Coach Moss?
It's outstanding to be back with Coach Moss. We're in different, I guess, realms or parts of our career. I mean, he was a quarterback coach, doing the wristband, which is something that one of these coaches do in those days. And I was the one sending him corrections. Now here we are where he's the head coach, and, I come in as the guy, my mindset is to come in and earn a roster spot. I'm not coming in saying I'm the starting quarterback. I'm coming in to earn a roster spot. But for all intents and purposes, as it would be planned, is for me to come in and play. But, just to be in those different roles is awesome because, you can be a little bit more like yourself. You can use your position for influence and to lead a little bit better. And so we've grown a lot, and I've always admired him from afar. And learned a ton from him. And, I've always been rooting for him because I know how much of a worker he is. And so for him and I to be together, I think it's going to be a really, really good pairing. And I'm really excited about it. As for learning with other quarterbacks, Ricky was great. Henry was great. But I'd be lying to say that I learned a ton from those guys. I would learn more probably from guys that, process the game similarly to myself, which may surprise you, is Danny O'Brien and Mitchell Gale. Wow. Have been the guys that I've really learned the most from, because I think that you process the game so much differently as a quarterback than other quarterbacks. And when you can find somebody that sees the game the same, you can really learn a lot from them. And Will Arndt was the guy last year in Ottawa that I learned a ton from as well.
Oh, that's awesome. And of course, now you're back with Danny O'Brien. So that must be nice to have that little bit of a reunion.
Yeah, him and I work well together. We're good buddies. We debate sports a lot. We always talk about having a podcast together where we debate sports. So maybe one time we'll come on the Empire and have 5 hot topics and start letting it ride.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We were trying to find a good nickname for him, and we went with DOB, so we started calling him Dobby, and I don't know if he really likes it or not, but I think it's great. So we're happy to have him on here. I guess I should ask you at that point, do you have any fun nicknames? Because we tend to have nicknames for everybody on the team.
Man, I really don't know. There's so many people call me different things. Most people just call me Trev, though. No, nothing really huge, nothing really big.
All right. Well, we'll find something fun.
But if you guys come up with something, you guys let me know.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. Well, you're going to hear us. We say a lot of Earth Kwaku a lot for Kwaku Boateng, and we made shirts and everything. So we'll find a good nickname for you, and then we'll find out a shirt. This will be fun.
Hey, we're on to something. We might be on to something here.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you got to visit the stadium last week. What was it like coming in, of course, being now on the home side, and what are you most excited about for this year?
It was different coming on the home side. It gave me a different perspective from the Grey Cup weeks, which was good because I needed a shift from that. So it was good to kind of see the locker room and meet the guys, meet Kyle, the human performance and strength coach for the team, to meet the athletic trainers, to meet the coaches, to kind of just see the city a little bit and see where, me and my family are going to be. And just really, really excited. Couldn't be more thrilled, actually, to have the spot in Edmonton available. Because a lot of times when you move cities as a quarterback, typically you are worried about, a lot of things, is the football side going to be good? And here I am, in just a tremendous football city and a tremendous football situation in terms of, being able to learn from Coach Moss and being around Danny and the roster that Brock is putting together. It's just it's a true pleasure to be in the City of Champions, and I just look forward to seeing how high we can raise the ceiling there.
Oh, that is fantastic. Now, you did say your family's coming here. I was going to actually ask you that because I know you're a big family guy, and are they going to be coming here then during the season when you're playing? Yeah. So if you heard a little kid screaming in the background, that was my little man. So it's faith, family, and football, and so
to be able to have my wife and little man there with me means more than anything, because they kind of give you perspective on the season. And football is not the most important thing in my life, but I sure do treat it like it is. And I think that's kind of a good way for, to be as a professional, that I treat it as the most important thing in my life, but it won't trump my family or faith. And so having them there with me to be able to see the city and, just experience this awesome portion of life is priceless.
Oh, that's fantastic. I just said I'm a dad myself, but what's that like feeling for you for being a dad?
It's a lot of different perspective. They don't care if dad throws for 200 yards and 3 picks or 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. You're still that. Yeah. And it's just great perspective. I'm sure you can relate when you have the worst day and you come home and your 11-year-old's right there and you're daddy and you're home. And so it's a really, really good thing, perspective wise, and the unconditional love that my wife and I have for each other. Our story's kind of like the real life Notebook. We dated for 3 years in high school and broke up for 7 years and got back together, and boom, there it is. And so it's been a whirlwind, but I'm just very, very blessed to have them in my life, and they just give you great perspective. I'm sure you can kind of attest to as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have 3 of them, and so they keep you honest, and they also, remind you that it doesn't really matter what your day was like. That somebody loves you when you're home, and that makes it all the much better to come home, right?
Yeah, it's fun to watch him grow too. Like he just learned the word mine, which I'm sure you probably know that stage.
Yep.
Mine.
And he's at the point now where he wants to go outside all the time. He's 100% boy. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, sleet, doesn't matter. Muddy, he wants to be outside. And if I promise him I'll take him outside, he just turned 2, but he's starting to figure things out. If I tell him, hey, we'll go outside when we get back, as soon as I get back from the gym, he brings my shoes over to me, Dad outside. And so like he remembers, and he's starting to hold me accountable a little bit. So
that's fantastic. Yeah. When they're a little older, trust me, they'll keep you accountable. Yeah. As soon as you walk in, you said outside. All right, let's go. Yeah. You said go to the park.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now that we're kind of finding out a bit more about you outside of football, but, Who was your biggest football inspiration as you've gone through?
Man, I'm not sure I've drawn from a bunch of other people in terms of football for inspiration. I've more just been motivated by my teammates that I've had. And I know that it's not really probably a great answer, but that's kind of like what makes me tick, is not letting my teammates down. And that's why it takes so much time into getting to know my teammates and getting to know their story, because I think the more that you know about somebody and the more that you care about them, the more you want to do for them. And in that, you don't want to let people down. I think that's kind of like where the magic happens in football. And I think my motivation has come from there, is just loving my teammates. And so I just think my whole life, as I've grown as a leader, the more I've got to know my teammates has really kind of where I've drawn my inspiration from in football.
Wow. Have you ever thought of doing motivational speaking? That was really good. I like that.
Yeah. I've spoken at some places, but not a ton. Like I said, I'm not like a really public guy. I'm more of a private guy, but I think maybe I do need to maybe speak a little bit more. I've wrote it down as one of my goals. So, but yeah, it's kind of truthful. I think that when you can kind of find out your why, and you have a deep enough why, that's kind of like where you can draw your motivation from, and you won't hit the snooze button in the morning.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Now, you did a lot of community appearances and things in Ottawa as well. Is there a type of kind of community involvement that you like best, especially with the Eskimos being a community-run team and they're actually pretty involved in the community?
That's great to know. I'm kind of just starting to inquire with Cliff about it with the Eskimos, and he's going to help me out with quite a bit with some of the goals that I have for the year, in terms of being able to give back. And so I look forward to those things, because I think that the people aren't going to remember what you did. They'll remember how you made them feel. And so we can make them feel good by winning football games and winning Grey Cups, but also pouring into the people. And so I think the more that we can, win football games and Grey Cups, and also, pour into the people, the community, those are the things that are really going to matter and impact the community. And that's what I really look to do. Sure, throwing for a bunch of yards is cool, but they don't remember that. Like I said, I think they remember how you made them feel.
Yeah, no, I see what you, some of us remember certain games. I mean, you did light it up in the East Final last year. I mean, we will remember that one. That was pretty good. But, but
yeah, they'll remember that because you made them feel good for that day, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So now, why number 7? Is there something that is tied to you for number 7?
Funny story actually on this is I've never in my life asked for number 7 one time.
Really?
And whenever I tell people that, they're like, really? So I was 7 in college. I was 7 with the Jaguars. I was 7 in the United Football League. I was 7 in Arena Football League. I was 7 in Toronto, 7 in Ottawa, and 7 in now Edmonton. And so everybody's like, man, why 7? I was like, man, I've literally never asked for it. Not one time. And so it's just always been like, hey, 7 cool? I'm like, sure, man. Like, give me a number, I'll go out and throw it around. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, okay. Well, let's go to some
high school though. So
right from high school, really? Wow. Well, I guess they wear it somewhere else.
I was wearing the old Ricky Ray in high school, so that was what I wore in high school.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get to a bit of rapid fire here, and then I can let you go. But okay, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Neither.
Ooh. All right, that's fair. Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? It's got to be, maybe Step Brothers, Wedding Crashers. One of those Will Ferrell and daggone, what's the guy's name?
O'Reilly.
Oh, all those guys are really great.
That's good. Those are good. So you're more of a comedy guy.
Yeah, I'm a comedy guy.
Perfect.
Me and my wife are really into documentaries. Like we've kind of really watched like Making a Murderer, and just recently watched the Ted Bundy tapes, and so we're into those sort of drama side of things. But we're comic people.
Okay, that's good. Now this might be a touchy one, but Ohio or Ohio State?
Oh, Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State.
Okay, all right. Now let's say you have control of the music at practice. What's on the playlist?
Instrumentals. Gospel or country, one of those 3.
Really?
I'm just an instrumental guy. I don't really hear the words of like songs very much. I just kind of hear the rhythm and the beat, and I think it comes from my mom. Like she's a dance teacher, and so like she always just hears the rhythm and the beat. And so I think as I grew up, I kind of just listened to the rhythm and beat of the songs. And so yeah, I'm just an instrumental guy.
Oh, that's very cool. Well, okay, now wait. If your mom was a dance teacher, did you never went into dance?
Of course, 14 years, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, what you didn't enjoy that? Probably makes you more nimble.
It's not really I think when you see me do some touchdown celebrations, you won't see me do a bunch of dancing. I think that's by design by myself because I don't want to embarrass myself. But actually, I'm doing tap dancing this off season. I read in Kobe Bryant's book that he used to do tap dancing because it was good for his like ankle mobility, his feet, and using all the different parts of the bottom of his feet and stuff. And it was helpful for him in his career. So I took it up this off season. I'm doing some tap dancing now. So.
Oh, that's very cool. Very, very cool. All right, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right.
Black coffee.
Nice. All right. Pizza or tacos? That's like a Sophie's Choice question.
For a cheat meal, let's go. Let's pizza.
All right. Good job. All right. Now we have, we'll stick on the food for a second. We have a tailgate before every game. So what's the best pre-football food?
We got to go with barbecue, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like just barbecued whatever, right? Doesn't matter.
Barbecue chicken. I mean, shoot, hey, let's barbecue, it's chicken. So barbecue chicken, some baked beans. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Awesome. I'm in. Yeah. What's your pregame meal, or do you actually have any pregame rituals?
I don't really have too much of a pregame ritual. I'm not like a big eater. I try and do like a smoothie before games, just to kind of just something light on my stomach. But I try and carb up in the morning, get some rice or sweet potatoes, some eggs, some good protein and carbs in the morning, and just in the afternoon, just a nice little smoothie with some protein in it. That's about it, though.
Nice. All right. So now, this is a tough one, but we ask it to everybody. But if you had 1 hour to talk to anyone, alive or dead, who would you talk to and why?
Oh, man. With no time to think, huh?
Yeah, I know. I like to put people on the spot and see what happens.
Well, I'm a faith guy, so I'd probably pick Jesus. And I think that a lot of people, even if you're a Christian or not, I think would like to talk to Jesus. You know, he's the most famous person ever, most researched person ever. He'd be fun to talk to. And, you know, obviously because of my faith, I'd love to just speak with him for a little bit, gain some knowledge.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. Now, when are you actually going to be in town, or what's the plan as far as you guys getting here?
So I think camp starts sometime in May, and I'm going to come up a little bit before that, just because I want to be able to find a place to live. That way, when my family comes up after camp, we can just settle right in immediately. And so I plan on coming up in the beginning of May. I'm actually the announcer at my mom's dance recital this year.
Okay.
And so as soon as that's over, I'll be free to come up. I think it's around like May 3rd or 4th for that. And so after that, I'll be on my way up.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for doing this and taking the time to chat with us. We're, of course, really looking forward to seeing you here at training camp and hopefully catching up with you throughout the season. So thanks again, man. Definitely,
man. I appreciate it. Look forward to having me and DOB on.
Oh, that'd be very, very cool, both of you.
All righty. Thanks, man.
Hey there, this is your co-host, Kenny Stafford, with the Eskimo Empire Podcast. Hope you guys enjoy listening.
Well, that was Trevor Harris, and what an amazing conversation. I want to thank him again for coming on, and I want to thank the Eskimos for helping to set that up, as that was a great time to just kind of catch up with our new quarterback and get to learn more about him. And he sounds like he's going to be a great fit and an amazing leader. So thank you to everyone for listening. Remember to check out unitedconstruction.ca. Of course, they're our title sponsor. Check out United Construction Company and all the things that they do in their builds. Down with UCC. Follow us, of course, on all of our social channels, and you can find those at eskempire.ca. Rate, review, and subscribe to help the show grow, and we are now available on Spotify as well, so you can find us there. So for Commissioner Kayla and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.